So, whenever you're looking to apply for financial services and products within the United States, and then really this is universal as well, there's two different checks that happen. The first one is called Know Your Customer or KYC, and the second one is called Know Your Business or KYB. So, what happens is that during the Know Your Customer verification process, there are certain requirements or things that are going to be asked. So, I wanted to clearly outline each of those things that are asked. So that way, if you're getting asked for verification or documents, you'll understand the rationale as to why. Typically, they'll ask you for an identifier. So whether that's going to be a social security number or an ITIN. So an ITIN, as you learned in the previous package, if you had a chance to watch those videos, an ITIN is an individual taxpayer ID number. And social security number, obviously that's valid for US citizens. So that's pretty self-explanatory if you're a US citizen applying for any banking products. The second one is a personal residence address. I'll put personal address here just to save some time. So the personal residence address validates that you have some type of connection or tie to the US and you're operating a legitimate business within the United States. Now, there's a little bit of gray area here if you're a non-US citizen looking to put in the credentials here under the Know Your Customer requirements. In most cases, if not all, you are required to put some type of personal residence address in this field. Now, it could be a friend, a relative, someone that you know that you're associated with. You do physically have to live here for a certain period of time, but you do want to list something here that you have association with. And they typically will ask you for a utility bill or a cell phone bill. So that's another requirement here that'll be asked for most, if not all, financial services providers. If you're linking this address here as a non-US citizen, you can use a cell phone bill or you can have a utility put in your name. So these are really the three common things that are going to be asked when you are facilitating information or applying for a financial services provider or payment service provider within the United States. These are becoming a lot more non-negotiable now. There were scenarios in the past where you didn't need some of this information, and I get this question all the time. I have a buddy that set up 3 or 4 years ago that wasn't required to have a personal address or whatever it may be. Well, they're slipping through the cracks, right? Banks are now auditing things, and from an IRS and tax reporting perspective, they need to have a UBO tied to any sales and things that are made within the US. So the UBO is the ultimate beneficial owner, which that's going to be your information. So there are some things that are happening here within the US specifically. And again, just for providers in general, they need to know who they're dealing with and then information that ties them to the information that's being put on the application. So that's Know Your Customer. That's one side of the pendulum that you need to satisfy to ensure that your payment processing account or your financial services provider is stable and reliable. That information is needed.